All right, so welcome back, everyone. In this session, we'll be deploying the pools and virtual servers. All right, so before we actually deploy it in our lab, in our cool lab, we'll be looking at some, fundamentals to it. Uh, so basically, before we jump into the actual deployment, we have to understand some fundamentals. Pool is basically it's not pools, it's basically pool. Pool is a group of pool members with the same service. All right. So this specific pool would be consist of multiple pool member, and making it make sure that all of them would are made to serve the same purpose. All right. And then health monitor, as we have learned in the node, there's a health monitor on the node level and on the pool member. So it is highly recommended to have the health monitor on the pool level for sure, even if you don't have it on the node level. All right, it ensures that your server is healthy and it's working fine. All right, at the end you need to understand the virtual servers is the one which is for traffic management. All right, and this is represented by the IP address, okay, which is called as a virtual IP address, or we would very often call it as web. All right, so that's how we're gonna be denoting it. All right, so let's see how the environment really looks like. We have already seen we have created three nodes, right? 10.0.1.1, 1.2, 1.3. These are all nodes that we have already created in our earlier lab. Now this all will be clubbed together, and remember this all will be clubbed together and makes the pool. But remember this very carefully. Pool is not just the group of node, but it is a group of pool member. And how exactly it's going to happen? When the pool member is created with the combination of your node and your health monitor. So health monitor is expected to have on basis of what kind of service you are opting for. You can also name it as a service port as well. Okay, so that's why that's how your monitor becomes uh, you know so let's say if you have pool over here and you create a health monitor on the service port, in our case we'll be running HTTP. All right, so our health monitor would be on HTTP, and this monitor plus this node becomes our pool member. Okay, I hope this makes sense to you. And again, for the node 2 as well, we'll be creating a pool member which would be combination of our health monitor HTTP plus this node becomes the pool member, and this is gonna be pool member 2. You got it? Now in our lab, we're gonna be having all the nodes with IP address as mentioned on the right side, and our web. Okay, the web is something which faces towards the client, and all the traffic hits to the web. All right, and our web is falling under the IP address 192.168.10.10. Okay, and you might be knowing it already that our management interface is under 192.168.0.112. All right, so it seems we have got three networks very clearly. So first network is of management of 192.168.0.112. Pull is into the network of 10.0.1.0/24, and these all nodes are falling under it. Okay, and our web is the one which is on the production environment where all the traffic would be hitting on. All right, so this is how our lab really looks like. I have shown you because when we really do the testing, you get the feel of it. And just to make it very very interesting, I have actually created the HTTP web application web server in a way on all of this server. And just to show you it a bit different how exactly it looks like, I have, let me show you what you get to know about it. So this is our II server. Okay, so this is our, let's say this is our server number 2. You may, I mean, no number 2 from the big IP point of view. You can go to the IIS. Okay, and in this we have our server. This is our default site. When you explore, you get to know the file, and this is what, when anybody reach out to the server, will get to see the index page. And for the index page, we have some image available so that you can identify it very well. All right, so for the server number 2, we got a wolf that has the IP address 10.0.1.2. And if any user trying to access to the application to the web, and if it reaches, if they get to see this IP address, that means it is getting load balanced to the server number 2. Similarly, for the server number 3, I'll show you how exactly it's gonna look like. If you go to the server number 3, you go to the IIS server. Okay, and in the IIS server, we go to the sites, probably in a altogether different class. I'll show you how you can turn it up and everything. And for the server number 3, I have created a ramble. You see this? uh, if you see on your browser, whenever when we are done with our lab, if you see 10.0.1.3, that means your request is going to the node 3. All right, as of now we haven't really created anything. I'm just showing you how the lab really looks like. Now we have covered how these node 2 looks like, how node 3 looks like. Let's see how server number 1 looks like. Okay, okay, wonderful. So we are on server number 3. Let's go to the IIS. Let's explore the files. Okay, wonderful. So this is the file, and let's see what image we have. It's taking some time. Oh, wonderful, it's ready. So we have got a dragon, and you see this, there's also an IP address mentioned over it. So what's the thought, what's the idea? The idea is you get the feel that you are where exactly your request is going to. Just looking at the browser itself, just looking at the multiple requests, you get to know where exactly you are getting stuck, where exactly you are landing, I mean to say. All right, so let's come back to our lab. Let's come back to the big IP altogether. Okay, and in the big IP, what is really prerequisite? The prerequisite is to have the nodes ready. So you can see we have got 3 nodes up and running absolutely fine. There's no problem at all. So once you have the nodes ready, that's enough to create the pool. All right, so we'll go ahead and we go to the pools. We'll create on the a pool member, and over here we give a very simple name, server pool, maybe 01. Okay, and because it's a web server, IIS is the web server, will keep the health monitor as the HTTP, because it makes sense, right? If you are running a web server, it makes sense to have a health monitor on HTTP. Just imagine if you have a web server running and you keep using ICMP as the health monitor. Does it really make sense? Because at the end, ICMP works on the network layer and HTTP works on the application layer. At the end, you get to know what exactly going on your application. Even if you're running the FTP or any sort of DNS application, it is always good to have the same monitor available, so that you get the clear visibility about what your applications are going through. All right, so once you define the health monitor, you get an option under resources of defining load balancing method. Just to keep it simple, because it's initial session, so we'll keep the load balancing method as round robin. In the further class, we'll go into advanced load balancing algorithm. Now, and the new members, you can either create the members over here by creating the nodes just right here, or because we have already created the nodes, we can click on the node list, and we just have to define the service port. Okay, now as I told you, pool members are the combination of your nodes and the service port. Okay, so we'll keep it 80. The moment you do that, HTTP will be selected. I just have to add it. All right, let's select the server number 2. Let's add it. You see this, it's getting added the moment I do that. Okay, it's done. Let's finish it. The moment you do that, it is expected to see your your pool in green. Okay, let's refresh it a bit. Wonderful, your pool is ready, your pool is healthy as well. Now the next step is to create the virtual server. Now in order to create the virtual server, you have to go to the virtual servers, and over here let's give a simple name, 0vs for virtual servers. Now you can keep the source address blank, so it means that any IP address can access it. Now it's when it comes to the destination IP address, as if you recall our lab, we have considered 192.168.10.10 as our web. So this is where the user would be sending the request. It is normally a standard of putting /32. Even if you don't do it, it's gonna be taking it automatically. Okay, what is the port? As it is the web application, it has to be HTTP. Now once this is done, just go all the way to the down. Rest of the stuff will be covering one by one in very detail in the further classes. You can directly go to the bottom and select the default pool. We have already created one. You can select that and click on finish. The moment you do that, you're wonderful. It's pretty quick. You can see your web server is up. That means your user can directly go to their browser and can actually put this IP address on their browser itself. All right, so let's do the testing right away and get the feel of it, how exactly it looks like for the all right, so let's open up the browser, and all right, so what's the IP address? Okay, it's what we need to do is we can do the HTTP : 192.168.10.10. Okay, the moment we do that, it has to land to one of our pool member. Okay, let's see. Wonderful, we now see 10.0.1.1. okay, we now see the traffic is reaching to the first pool member. And now, because if you can recall it correctly, we have selected the round robin. That means the traffic has to go to the next server and the next server and come back to the first one again. Okay, now let's send the request one more time and see what comes. Wonderful, you see this, we are landing to the pool member 2, and I believe you have got the idea, right? I have shown you initially. These are the index pages, HTML index pages, and HTML images as well, which I have uploaded on our IIS server. All right, so let's send the request one more time and let's see if we are landing to the server number 3. Wonderful, we are getting the Rambo, right? So let's see if we are coming back to the first one. Wonderful, we are coming to the dragon. Now let's see if we are coming to the we are landing to the wolf. Wonderful, we got the wolf, the Russian wolf, right? It's pretty quick. Let's refresh and let's see if we are coming to the Rambo one more time. Okay, wonderful. Now how we can actually get to see if that is really in the big IP. This is for the user, right? User can see, and I have created the different images so that we can get the feel. Okay, there's something happening, right? So on the big IP as well, you can actually get the stats of it. So the moment you go to the pools, you get an option of statistics, sorry. And on the statistic itself, you get to know about, you got pools, you got your pools and their multiple members, and all their members are actually, getting the traffic load share. Okay, so you could see the traffic has been load share in this pattern. Okay, so the server number one has got this amount of traffic, and it has received in this 15 kb or something, and it has sent this much of a bits so far, and 19 packets has been received and 7 packets has been sent. This is the pattern, and this is based on the request that we have sent across. All right, so I hope you got the sense about how exactly it looks like, and how to troubleshoot, how to get to see what are the different traffic patterns available. Now let's understand how exactly the traffic is impacted if one of the pool or one of the pool member goes down. So we go to the pools and we come here, and let's say I disable one of the pool member. Let's say this one. Let's say disable the pool number 2. Let's see if we are still coming to the pool number 2, okay, or we are jumping to the pool number 3 all the way directly. Okay, so we are currently on Rambo. Let's refresh the page. So we are on the dragon at this moment. We are not supposed to land to the server number 2, right, because we have disabled it. Let's see if we are going to the server number 2 on the next request. Wonderful. You see, the traffic is not really going to the pool member which has been disabled, and this is the expected result. The moment I refresh the page, I get the dragon again. But if I again refresh it, I should not be landing to the pool number 2 again. You see this? We are going to the pool number 3 directly. So pool number 1, pool number 3, pool number 1, pool number 3. Dragon Rambo, dragon Rambo. There is no wolf as such. All right, so let's turn it up. All right, so this is pretty cool. Now just imagine what would happen if our this is what the admin have done it intentionally on the big IP. What would happen? Let's be very realistic. Let's imagine what would happen if one of our server, or maybe the web application itself goes down. So how we could do that? Let's go to maybe server number 2, and on the server number 2, let's maybe disable, maybe disable this IIS server altogether. So we are on the IIS server at this moment. We get an option to stop the HTTPS. Okay, now what would happen? What happen is, the moment we the moment we stop the process, the moment we stop the HTTP service on the server number 2, the monitor or the big IP try to send those messages. This could be this is just to send the keep alive after the 3-way handshake. The get and expect the response coming in from the server side. But if it don't get the response coming in from the server side, it should let the pool to be down, right? Let's see what happens. We are under the pools. We currently see all the servers, all the pool members are up. Let's refresh it. You see this? The pool member 2 has got down, right? And it says the pool member has been marked down by the monitor. It's because the monitor itself has got down, all right? And that's why it has forced the entire pool member to go down. And let's see what happens if the moment I start the process, start the HTTP service. Let's start it. Okay, I have started the HTTP process on server number 2. Let's go back to the big IP and let's refresh the server. Wonderful. It has just turned up. So I hope you got the clear idea about how to, how the pool members really works under pool, and how the load balancing really, works when when any of the pool member goes down. All right. So I hope you like this video. I hope you like this session altogether, and we'll catch you in the next lesson. All right. Thank you. Take care.